LSU or Louisiana is going to the Super Regional. We are about to find out who the winner of this game is in. And the first pitch by Berzon down and away to Maya Davis, the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. Davis has already stolen 50 bases this season. Near the top of the country in that list, and head coach Jerry Glasgow, it is 6th year, is going to already be talking things over with home plate umpire Robbie Guest.
Yeah, he's pointing to something out. I don't know, it's like in right field? Like he sees something or looking at the lineup?
Well, Jerry Glasgow, previously an assistant for 3 different SEC teams. He is no stranger to Tiger Park. An assistant with Georgia, Texas A&M, and Auburn. A hitting guru as Maya Davis flares it fair down the left field line. Big turn by Davis. And she's going to hold right there with a leadoff single.
I mean, this is exactly what we're going to see from both sides of these teams. Aggressiveness. Maya Davis getting the drop ball that Berzon throws so well and gets enough of it and places it. Look at Taylor Pleasance, the shortstop, diving because she knows Davis could easily get to second base into scoring position.
So here is Stormy Kotzelnick, and again, you have to watch out for Davis on the base paths. And not going that time. It is going to be a tall task for Allie Newland behind the plate, making up the battery with the freshman Sydney Berzon.
And to me, that was the difference maker when they faced each other yesterday. Davis was not able to get on base off of Berzon.
This is over towards second, could be 2. Petty throws it away. Davis moves to third and runners on the corners. And nobody out for Louisiana in the top of the first.
Wow. This is a pressure moment, pressure situation. If you are going to want to win, you have to play clean defense. This is a mistake right here. Looked like too hard of a throw from the second baseman, Petty, where Pleasance wasn't able to come through. She is already coming through with the ball on the other side of the bag. And you just kind of feel that Louisiana is continuing that momentum from the last game, Alex.
And so it's a fielder's choice for Stormy Kotzelnick, and Maya Davis advances to third on the error by the second baseman Petty, and right away, Beth Torina, now a 12th year head coach with LSU, who got her 600th win earlier in the season, has a meeting in the circle, and not something we had seen from Carly Petty throughout this weekend. She had been terrific defensively.
Yeah, she's been sure-handed, making extremely tough plays, making them look easy. I mean, just think about the mindset for LSU. You start this first game off thinking, okay, we are in the driver's seat, full-on cruise control, and now they find themselves in this if necessary game, and they're playing a little tight right now.
Well, the Tigers certainly knew they had some leeway. They didn't necessarily have to win the first game, but then all the pressure now on them in Game 7. Sophie Piscos, 8 for 13 this weekend. 3 doubles. She has driven in 5. And already today has a solo home run. That's how important that error could be. Got away from Newland. Davis easily scampers home. Kotzelnick stays at second, and it is already 1-0 Louisiana.
That is why you have to play such clean defense. You cannot give a team like Louisiana extra outs, extra base hits, especially on the base path with extra runs. And when you are a catcher facing a drop ball pitcher, you have a runner at third, you know you have to be a wall back there because it is going to be down in the dirt.
Piscos tried to go down and get it that time, came up empty.
And sometimes that kind of gets in the head of a drop ball pitcher too, because you want to be able to bounce those balls in a lot of the times, but if you're afraid that it's going to scoot in, sometimes you hold back a little bit more. You want to be able to throw that as freely as possible.
And so it's Louisiana taking the advantage. And in the first game of the day, LSU was up 4-1 after 2. And that is when the bats for the Raging Cajuns started to come alive. Very different beginning here. He's spotted on the outside corner, and the count runs full. Well, it was anything but a smooth Game 6, so why would you expect anything different for Game 7? Piscos down the left field line, foul.
Like that off speed right there from Berzon. You have to think that Louisiana has been working on trying to force Berzon to bring that drop ball up and try to get different pitches out of her arsenal. That's what makes someone like Berzon so tough, because she does have a strong off speed. She has a great curveball. Also can go up in the zone and can actually throw it like 3 different speeds. So if she is locked in, she is hard to barrel up, but Louisiana does have all the momentum right now.
And missed on 3-2. Just barely, but it's ball 4 according to Robbie Guest. Here's how LSU lines up with 4 SEC all-defensive team members, including Briggs and Rudity in center and right field. Pleasance and Petty up the middle. Coffey and Gutierrez on the corners for Allie Newland behind the plate, making up the battery with the freshman Sydney Berzon. Well, if she thought an introduction to the NCAA tournament came yesterday, this is a real rude awakening in a lot of ways, because this isn't the 1-0 game. Yeah, there's pressure there, but quite literally, you lose this one and your season is over.
I think that's that pressure, right? And we've seen the mistakes already from LSU, because that's in the back of their mind. And talking with Coach Beth Torina, she had said her team wants it so much, so badly, that sometimes they do tend to press a little bit, that they have been able to play freely, haven't been challenged up until earlier this game.
Robbie Guest was also behind the plate for the first LSU-Louisiana game yesterday. And some of the faithful here inside Tiger Park are taking exception to a strike zone early on. And a 4-pitch walk to Lauren Allred to load the bases.
I mean, we are seeing the adjustment from Louisiana. They are not swinging over the top of that drop ball. You see Allie Kilponen, the veteran, warming up. She actually started the game earlier today, but got chased by Louisiana.
Of the year, Carly Heath. And not only is she the number 5 hitter for the Raging Cajuns, she's starting in the circle as well. And 5 straight outside the zone.
Well, that's a hard part for Berzon. She's expecting Louisiana to swing and miss through that drop ball. That was her off-speed drop, but the patience, you're seeing the adjustment happening super early here in the first inning.
Carly Heath 3 for 11 with a home run this weekend. Louisiana exploded for 9 runs against Omaha last night, 7 against LSU in the first game of the day.
that's something that Louisiana has to learn right there from. When Berzon is struggling to get a strike, what pitch is she going to go with? Goes with that curve.
And the 2-1 is a high chopper over to Petty. Goes to first for one, and that is all they will get as Kotzelnick crosses the plate. And Louisiana has 2 here in the first.
Yeah, still in a productive at-bat right there for Carly Heath. Used to seeing that power from her, but hey, that's going to get it done.
Ground ball to the right side, and that moves pinch runner Ushte over to third, all right into scoring position at second. Very productive there on the RBI ground out. And now Alexa Langoliers. Louisiana leading 2-0. 2 more in scoring position here with only 1 out. Langoliers hit a solo home run in the first game of the day, and she has a couple of them on the weekend so far. 0-2.
I mean, obviously for LSU, you give up that second run, but you get the most crucial thing, and that is an out. Not necessarily how you want to be starting this game, but you're going to take your outs as they come. Try to get your team out of this inning.
One ball and 2 strikes on Langoliers. She was named to the All-Sun Belt second team for the 2nd straight year. Has 13 home runs on the season now. Louisiana can really put it out of the ballpark, though. They have 76 home runs, and coming into the tournament, that was 12th best in the country. 5 players with 7 or more. You always have to watch out for that. What a stop by Newland.
Again, Berzon wanting to go with that drop ball, and she wants to be able to bounce it in and get that swing and miss, but Newland has to be perfect behind the plate and to truly force her body to get around it. You just cannot lead with the glove. You have to lead with your core.
First base is open, but Jordan Campbell is on deck, who had the 3-run home run that gave Louisiana the lead they would not relinquish earlier today. What's the biggest difference in approach that you have seen from Louisiana from game 1 against Sydney Berzon yesterday to now here in game 7?
Patience. Patience. They know what they're hunting for out there. They're not susceptible to that drop ball that's well out of the zone, and they are forcing Berzon to really bring it up right into their wheelhouse.
And Langoliers draws the walk, so 3 have reached base on balls in the last 4 hitters, and they are loaded for Jordan Campbell. And so many times when you see an ace in the circle, the first inning is the best time to get to them before they settle into any sort of rhythm, and Berzon does not have one at this point.
Yeah, you're just really rattling her confidence in there, right? And let's not forget, she is a freshman, so this is this is the biggest moment that she has thrown in so far.
And you face Jordan Campbell, one of 3 SEC transfers coming over from Texas A&M before last year, where she was named Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year. 1-0. And count even up after the foul ball. Not only Campbell, but Carly Heath, who has that RBI ground out a couple of batters ago. She transferred in from South Carolina after playing her first 2 seasons there for Bev Smith. And Megan Shorman, who started the first game of the day, came over from Rachel Lawson's Kentucky program. 1-1 is driven. Deep left field, fair, it's gone, and it's off of the foul pole. Grand slam, Jordan Campbell. The Raging Cajuns are running wild in Baton Rouge.
Well, Jordan Campbell gets her second home run of the day. Take a look at this. It is high, it's elevated, and she turns on it. Check out that barrel path, just getting on plane, staying on plane, and trusting your timing. Bounces off the foul pole, and that, my friend, is a grand slam.
The first of her career, and it is already 6-0 Louisiana in the top half of the first. Her 7th RBI of the day.
And she hasn't even been a regular starter this entire weekend. Has been coming up in pinch hitting opportunities, got her first hit earlier today. At the time that, arguably was her biggest hit, but that one I'm going to say took it.
I would say so. And it just shows you this game can be absolutely cruel. Victoria Valdez, his hit goes down to first, and now Louisiana has batted around here in the first. Because you go back to one of the final plays of the first game of the day. It's Georgia Clark sending one down the left field line. If that's a few inches to the right, and it either hits the foul pole or crosses in fair territory, and it's easy for the umpires to see we're tied. Who even knows if we're playing game 7? And then Jordan Campbell plunks one right off of the pole in the very next inning.
When you have these home run swings at home run power, you are just one swing away from just stealing all that momentum and firing back with a huge blow.
Maddie Hayden pulls it foul. How do you stay level-headed here if you're LSU?
It's just the first inning. It is just the first inning if you are an LSU fan. I mean, they have just as much power, just as much potency in their lineup. So they're going to still be able to come up and take their hacks. But you can't get down on yourself. You cannot feel deflated. You got to stay up, bring that energy.
Since Louisiana trailed 4-1 in the top of the second of Game 6 of the weekend, our first game of the day today, they have scored 12 unanswered runs.
Wow.
Oh-2 is bounced over towards second. Petty to Pleasance 1, and not in time to get Hayden. And that is still only the second out here in the first inning.
And I hate to harp on it, but we say this often, defense wins championships. And to me, this all got out of hand when you look to the second play with that E4. You had an opportunity to take that runner out of scoring position.
Maya Davis once again right at Gutierrez. And so for LSU, the top of the first mercifully comes to an end. For the Raging Cajuns, variances 3 scoreless innings with a couple of strikeouts. Still hasn't allowed a hit yet.
And this is what makes Louisiana so good. They have a deep bullpen. Carly Heath is probably maybe their 3rd or 4th best out of the bullpen, but she is still effective. One of the hardest throwers in this bullpen. Someone that's going to utilize a screwball, a drop ball, can go on the other side as well with a curve.
And so this is a very potent LSU lineup, though, hitting .315 on the season coming into the day. That's 3rd best in the SEC, averaging over 5 runs per game. They are going to need one more than that to keep this thing going, but it all starts with Danica Coffey, who is 1 for 4 with an RBI and a stolen base in that first game against Louisiana, but very clearly a different dugout right now down the first base line than when we started the game. Heath is ready, and so is Coffey. And the bottom of the first starts with a strike.
I'm sure if you're LSU, it's going to be hard not to feel deflated right now. Going into your first ABs, down 6 runs, but still plenty of game left. You just got to try to chip away at that lead.
Starting lineup for LSU brought to you by Capital One. You see Danica Coffey's numbers from the first game. Came into the day 5 for 5 with a double, 4 runs, and a stolen base. And she added one more in game 1 this afternoon. 0-2 just looked at outside, and not giving that outside pitch to Carly Heath behind the plate, just like Robbie Guest did not allow it for Sydney Berzon. Coffey bounces over towards short. Langoliers quickly up with it for out number 1. Langoliers made an error that seemed to ignite LSU earlier on in the first game of the day, but well, she certainly contributed to it, but the rest of the bats did as well, putting 7 runs on the board. Langoliers had a solo shot to lead off the second. One of 3 home runs, accounting for 5 of the 7 runs for the Ragin' Cajuns in game 1 of the day. Sierra Briggs, opposite way, Langoliers again. Not easy to get Coffey and Briggs back-to-back on ground balls to the left side.
Just seeing Langoliers look so sure-handed. It was really weird to see her make those errors early on in this game because of how much that you can depend on her out there. I think it was just one of those pressure moments where she just didn't know what to do, but you win that game, you're up 6-0. It's a little bit easier to play more free. You don't have to play as tight as kind of how LSU is right now.
Well, you certainly can't blame them being down a half dozen after 3 outs are recorded. It's going to be as difficult physically as it is mentally right now for the Tigers.
And Taylor Pleasance is someone who needs to turn it on in this game. She is the biggest threat in this lineup. Check out where the infield is playing her back. Everyone is playing back. You have the shortstop Langoliers basically on the grass, as well as the second baseman Vasquez. They know that they're going to get a hot shot. They want to give themselves enough time to make that play.
Last time that Pleasance was up at the end of the first game, well, she doubled to keep the game alive and actually brought up Georgia Clark as the potential tying run, but we know what happened after that. Clark with a ball down the left side that went over the foul pole. It was called foul. And according to the NCAA, not a reviewable play because the ball went over the foul pole and did not cross in front of it. Pleasance bounces to second and gobbled up by Vasquez. Take that one to the bank. And at the moment, right now, it's looking like Louisiana, but so much softball left to play. Not even close to done here at Tiger Park. Stormy Kotzelnick steps in and bounces 1 pitch, 1 out over to Gutierrez.
That has got to feel good if you are Sydney Berzon.
You would love a quick inning here after throwing 38 pitches in the first. 10 different Raging Cajuns came up to the plate. And they got those 6 runs on just 2 hits and an error. The big blow, Jordan Campbell's first career grand slam. And also the first grand slam that LSU has given up this season. Pinch hitter here is Kramer Ushte. We have seen her up and down the lineup throughout. She's coming in as a defensive replacement. But if you're just learning what Louisiana softball is, well, their head coach, Jerry Glasgow, in his 6th season is kind of a bit of a mad scientist. He will change in and out in terms of pinch hit opportunities, his defensive replacements. Generally, it's not the cleanest scorebook when you're looking at a Louisiana game, as that one bounces in the hole left side and through. But he knows exactly what he's doing more often than not.
I mean, he is a matchup-to-matchup guy. You keep Ushte in the lineup to hit for one of the hottest hitters in this lineup in Piscos, and she is able, though, to capitalize. She gets a pitch and is able to get in the 5-6 hole. This is the first at-bat for Ushte, and she takes advantage.
And here is Lauren Allred, who walked and scored her first time up. Raging Cajuns are trying to make some history here today as well. Not necessarily to get to the Super Regionals. They have done that 7 times in their history, along with 6 Women's College World Series appearances. But as a program, they've never won back-to-back games on Championship Sunday. And so one half of that, check it off your list. It's just foul. LSU on the flip side has only lost 2 games on Sunday in the regionals once. And it was in 2009 when they went to Arizona State. Oh-2 reaches for it, poked out towards center field, and that's where Briggs hauls it in, the SEC all-defensive team member for the second out. At this point, Francesca, I mean, for LSU, it's all about settling in, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Berzon settle in a lot better than she was in the inning before. But we have to see their offense try to make an adjustment and come alive. They just have not been able to get that big hit, to come through, to put any pressure on Louisiana pitchers. It wasn't until that last inning in the first game where Landry felt that type of a pressure, able to get runners on second and third. But then you start off this last inning just going 1, 2, 3. Louisiana is just going to feel like they are in the driver's seat, and they are.
Change up in there for strike 2 on Carly Heath. RBI ground out her first time up. Right at Gutierrez. She has been busy over there at first, and maybe that's the momentum that LSU needs, making their 17th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament, as Georgia Clark fouls one back into the screen for strike 1. Clark, Newland, and Rudity, the middle of this Tigers lineup, due for Beth Torina, who finds her team in a massive hole as we go to the bottom of the second here in Baton Rouge. It's just safe to say that everybody wearing purple and gold right now, and not only the fans, but the players in the dugout are just kind of shell-shocked.
Yeah, shell-shocked is a good word for it. And if they're going to try to turn this around, they need to see some production from Georgia Clark. She is 0 for 9 when she has runners in the scoring position. She has a 5 on base. So you need her to get some confidence, whether it's going to be a walk, a hit by pitch. When you feel like you are not able to see the ball and hit the ball like you're used to, you just kind of have to get on any way you can. Already seen adjustment right here from Clark all the way in the back of the batter's box.
Clark delivers deep left field and forget about it. LSU's home run leader puts a jolt into Tiger Park. They're on the board.
Well, I don't think Clark liked what I was saying about her just now, so she went ahead and tried to flip the script on me. And I love that she makes that in-bat adjustment. She went all the way in the back of the batter's box to catch up to the speed of Heath. She knew it right off of the bat. Look at that back foot. She normally stays more middle to the plate and decides that she needs to go to the back. Has a little conversation with the blue as she's turning 2.
I have a sneaking suspicion that was something to the effect of, that one was fair, wasn't it? Mike Thibodeau was down the third base line, and now he's at second base. I would not be surprised if it was something to that effect.
Ooh, a little spicy there. That's fun.
Well, you know they've been splashing the tahini, I would imagine, in the dugout. Trying to get their pep back in their step. Georgia Clark did just that. Allie Newland rips it. That one to right field. That's going to stay in the park, though. That got everyone excited. And out number 1 here in the second.
Yeah, but that's got to be the approach right now for LSU. You know you're not going to be able just to die down. You need to keep putting that pressure on. Use that home run as momentum and use that as confidence. When you see one of your biggest hitters in the lineup generate a solo home run like that, you got to steal that momentum, feed off of it.
Yeah, it's a solo shot, but it almost feels like more with just how down this offense has been. I mean, these are the first runs for them since the second inning when they put up a 4 spot earlier today. They were held off the board by Sam Landry.
It's just trying to find those little wins, Alex.
Mackenzie Rudity 3 for 7 with a triple and a home run in her weekend in a much improved sophomore season. Two and two on Rudity. Carly Petty in the on-deck circle, who had a 2-run home run, part of that 4-run second inning earlier today. The Oklahoma State transfer. Got her on the 2-2. Pulled the string and Rudity down on strikes. First K of the game for Heath.
Oh, that is a pretty pitch right there from Heath. She doesn't showcase that off speed often, but she has the heat to back this changeup up and to get the timing off of LSU.
And so here is Carly Petty with nobody on and 2 away, bottom second. Offers at the first, puts it into the bullpen, Louisiana. You know, the Ragin' Cajuns did have a big decision. Who would they go with in the circle after Shorman started and then Landry followed her up, throwing over 80 pitches. Thought maybe it was going to be Kendra Lamb, but I would imagine they want to save Lamb for the end of the game.
Yeah, she's normally their closer. Brings in that high heat.
4 saves on the year, and there's Landry.
We talk a lot about the deep pitching staff that the Cajuns have. At the same time, LSU has just as deep as a bullpen. That's what gets you very far in postseason. You have multiple arms that you can go to.
So far, just the one hit off of Carly Heath, though. It was a loud one and a resounding one at that, with the solo shot by Georgia Clark to lead off the second. Oh-2 is flown to shallow left field. It's Langoliers called off by Hayden, and the left fielder puts it away for the final out of the second.
Enforcing the if necessary, and then going up against the pitcher.
Pleasance just in time to get her counterpart, Langoliers,
who beat you yesterday to send you to the elimination bracket. I mean, this is just like all postseason right here. As we love to say, mayhem. Mayhem.
There you go.
Not ham.
No, not ham.
I'm just hungry.
You are hungry. I can hear it in your voice.
Because I'm saying ham?
Yeah.
Okay. More of a turkey person, but.
I'm with you. One out, nobody on here for Jordan Campbell. Trying to add on to this 5-run advantage. Campbell has already driven in 7 today. 3-run homer in the first game, grand slam her last time up. I would say she's earned maybe even more at-bats down the stretch if Louisiana is able to win this and get into the Supers.
We say it often, just Coach Jerry Glasgow, he knows his players so well. He loves matchups, and he understands how important getting pinch hitting opportunities are for some of his big players that don't necessarily see as many starts. Coming into this weekend, he had mentioned Jordan Campbell, Lainey Crater. Those were 2 bats off the bench that he needs in order to make a deep postseason run, and we've seen good success from both of them, but Jordan Campbell, bit of a coming out party.
Two, a couple of hops over to Petty to her left, and she fields and fires in time. Now 4 in a row retired by Sydney Berzon. Here's our Sunday night baseball matchup. It's a series finale and second game of a doubleheader between the Guardians and the Mets at Citi Field. Comes your way 7 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Jeff McNeil going to be mic'd up for the Mets. Tidy first 2 batters. That one lined to left and squeezed by Stewart off the bat of Valdez. Sydney Berzon is starting to settle in. Can her bats back her up? LSU to the plate, trailing by a nickel. Each program has appeared in 6 Women's College World Series. Raylene Gutierrez to lead off, offers it the first pitch. A shallow pop to second for out number 1. Just one mistake by Carly Heath in the circle for Louisiana. It was just the solo home run to lead off the second for Georgia Clark, and then she has faced 7 other hitters, has retired all of them.
Yeah, her pitches are spinning very well right now. We're seeing some fly outs from these Tigers where they're just not getting to that full extension. They're making good contact, but they're not able to keep that barrel continuing on that path to really send that charge in.
So here is Savannah Stewart. Senior just graduated yesterday after beating Louisiana in the 1-0 game. She went across campus and donned her cap and gown. Nothing for 3 this weekend with a couple of walks. Tigers trying desperately to turn this lineup back over to the company of Coffee Breaks and Pleasance with some runners on. That's off of the glove of the third baseman, and the throw not in time. Kotzelnick couldn't bring it in. And so Stewart is on here with one away in the third on the error. And congratulations to Savannah. There she is. After finishing off the win, she went in uniform and received her degree.
Even kept the stirrups on.
I mean, that is dedication.
I wonder if she has her cleats on, too. No, she probably put her turfs on, but that'd be fun.
You might never know. High fly, deep left field, Hayden back, and she makes the play to her left. And Stewart retreats. Coffey is retired for the second out, and that brings up her roommate Briggs. Those two respectively. Coffey third in the SEC in hits, Briggs fifth. And the best of friends, Beth Torina has written them into the lineup back-to-back 1-2 at the top over 100 times in their career. And how often is Briggs coming up to the plate with Coffey on base?
It's almost like that 1-2 punch. Teammates say they do such a great job of bringing that energy and invigorating their offense. We're going to want some of that right now.
Briggs bunts foul. Danica much improved over at third base. Took over the starting job last year, and according to Beth Torina, has just put in so much work. She wants it so bad. It was actually her idea to take the hot corner. Made the move after Amanda Doyle graduated. Knew they had a hole to fill, and she did. 0-2 is bounced over to short. It's off the glove of Langoliers and skirts into center. Have to see how they score that. It kind of popped up on Langoliers, but it's first and second and two away for Taylor Pleasance.
Yeah, Sierra Briggs, she is that lefty slapper that can shorten up soft slap, but she can also power slap it. And you have Langoliers playing in, and this ball pops right up on her. She was trying to cut it off and cut down the distance to get to first base, but because of that hop, goes over her glove.
They're going to call it an error on the shortstop Langoliers. It's her second of the day, first of the game. But two errors now in the third for a Louisiana team that's usually very short-handed defensively.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a 5-run lead, though, you don't feel like you put too much pressure on yourself, but you still have to take care of the ball. I mean, that's a really tough play as a shortstop. I think what Langoliers would take back is just trying to make a different angle to get to that ball, maybe try to get a little bit deeper first so she can get her body, I don't want to say in front of it, but she just tried to cut it off and it had too much speed.
And so here's Taylor Pleasance. Bounced out to second her first time up. On the weekend, though, she is 5 for 11. Has had a great time here in Baton Rouge this weekend. And LSU really needs a big hit from her in this spot to try to cut into this 5-run deficit. Not many you want at the plate than Taylor Pleasance, who suffered an oblique injury earlier on in the season. Hurt so bad she could only slap, couldn't even swing away. But she told us that she's feeling about 100%, as good as she has in a long time.
That is a great pitch right there from Carly Heath, going with that off speed. But if you're Taylor Pleasance, so what? You don't need to swing at that pitch when the count is in your favor. Just know that she can throw it. She can throw it for a strike. So you got to protect with 2 strikes, but you can't get down on yourself just because you take it for strike 1. To really drive in those runs with the power.
Wouldn't offer at the 1-2. First and second now for LSU with Stewart on second. Briggs, after reaching on the error by the shortstop Langoliers, on first. Georgia Clark's on deck. Swinging a drive up the middle, base hit. Stewart around third, she's gonna score. Pleasance advances to second. A 2-out knock. And LSU has one more back here in the third, trailing by 4.
You love to see that if you are a Tiger fan. Taylor Pleasance looking all types of healthy. Take a look at that barrel plane, getting her hands above that rise ball. Maya Davis, the center fielder, tries to get the ball in, but not in time. LSU just chipping away at this lead.
And a heads-up base running as well for Pleasance to move into scoring position as well. That's where we'll be when we come back. Pitching change for Louisiana. Still up by 4, though, in the bottom of the third. 2 outs and 2 in scoring position for Clark in the third. And she leaves it downstairs. Tigers have great speed, too. Briggs on third and Pleasance on second, who with the base hit should have the opportunity to score and cut into this 4-run deficit. You know Clark is feeling good, too, after that no-doubt home run to left field in her last AB. Base hit up the middle, 1-run scores. Taylor Pleasance around third without a throw. It's a 2-run single for Georgia Clark. The Tigers are alive and well in Baton Rouge in Game 7.
You were just waiting for Georgia Clark to bust this open. 2-0 count. She knows where Landry is going with the drop ball outside corner. Doesn't have to do too much, just enough to score 2 runs. I love this fight right here from LSU. This is postseason at its finest.
Georgia Clark started this weekend 0 for 9. Since then, 2 for 2 in her last 2 at-bats with a home run and 3 runs driven in. Allie Newland now doesn't offer.
I don't know. If I'm Louisiana right now, I'm calling timeout. I am trying to slow the pace down, slow that energy down from LSU.
Newland represents the tying run after a 3-run third so far. And so this seesaw chess match really begins now. Ragin' Cajuns put up 6 in the top of the first. You think that they've taken the advantage and certainly the momentum. 4 unanswered for the Tigers. Season on the line for both of these teams as the Orange Beals begin to mount down the third base dugout. Should get something to hit here with first base occupied, 2 away. Newland has already put one off of the right field scoreboard in their win over Prairie View on Friday night. 3-1 is low and away. Man, you would think they've tied the game the way that this crowd is into it here with the 2-out wall.
Yeah, that's the kind of energy you need, though. You need that. You need to be living off of every winning moment if you are a Tiger fan. And you can tell this excitement, the crowd, kind of getting to the pitcher, Sam Landry. That's why it's so important when you go into postseason. You want to be hosting the regional because you want that fan support, and that was a huge story. Louisiana feeling that they should have been a regional host. They did not want to hear this type of fans.
And so we'll have a meeting in the circle here from the infield. The pitching coach, Justin Robichaux, is out. Son of legendary Louisiana baseball head coach Tony Robichaux to talk with his battery. And very clearly this is a different scenario, and this is what it's all about. I mean, it's an atmosphere that is deserving of a Game 7 with so much on the line. You lose, your season is over, you win, and you become one of the last 16 teams to still be playing softball.
It all just comes down to that fight, right? Who is going to strike that last blow? Who's going to want it the most? I mean, both these teams want it so badly, but it's who's going to rise under that pressure.
LSU playing its 4th game of the weekend, and this is the 5th for Louisiana. How difficult is that? I mean, the pressure and the wear and tear it puts on you mentally and physically.
I mean, especially when you talk about the emotional type of pressure where you're just in it every single pitch knowing that this could be your very last. But right now, it's adrenaline. It's go time.
2 outs for Mackenzie Rudity. Into left field. Hayden won't get there. It splits the gap. It goes all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. Newland's in without a throw. A 5-run 3rd inning for LSU. And we're tied at 6 apiece.
Postseason is all about heart. It is all about grit, and LSU is showing what they are made of right now. Rudity following it back up. 2-run double to tie this game up.
Here's Petty. And the go-ahead run in scoring position. And most of this happening with 2 outs. 2 errors in the inning, including on the shortstop Langoliers allowing Briggs to reach. That would have been the last out of the inning. And then single, walk, double. All of a sudden we're tied.
And we kept saying over and over again in the first game that LSU needed Taylor Pleasance. They needed Georgia Clark to start getting those hits, to start getting those runners in. And those are the 2 difference makers in this inning so far. The leaders started it off for the Tigers.
And when you get into the postseason, almost nothing is more important than 2-out hits, especially with runners in scoring position.
Now that's the key right there. Runners in scoring position. It does not matter when you get those hits. It matters that you get the timely hits.
LSU only has 4 of them on the game, but 6 runs.
Could say the same thing about Louisiana. Only 3 hits, 6 runs.
Yeah.
That grand slam.
Suspect defense has been a problem for both teams so far, with the 2 errors for Louisiana and 1 for LSU. 2-2 is popped up. It's looked at out of play by Valdez. Do it again.
I mean, like, I got goosebumps up here. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is amazing.
Impossible not to at this point. And Carly Petty steps back in, has all the Women's College World Series postseason experience that you could want, transferring in from Oklahoma State. And the 2-2 is bounced. That's in the hole right side. The go-ahead given to Rudity. She's in there. Throw gets away. And LSU takes the lead. Returning the favor to Louisiana with a 6-run third inning.
It is never too late to come back. That is the message. You start this game off, your opponent going 6 runs up, and you just pour it on. Every single batter, every single hitter being able to contribute for LSU to finally take the lead in this elimination game.
Each team is now batted around so far. Gutierrez, who started off this inning with a pop-up to second. It was benign enough as Carly Eek was rolling, and she got into a little bit of trouble. Landry came in, didn't retire a batter in 3 tries, and then Lamb giving up the ribby single to Petty. Oh, 1 is flown. Left field. Hayden in. And she mercifully puts it away for Louisiana. A half a dozen for the Tigers, and they lead 7-6 going to the 4th. Well, half of the 4th inning, we're joined by Raging Cajuns head coach Jerry Glasgow. And Jerry, clearly not the inning you were looking for, but still only down 1. How do you just get your team to refocus here?
Hey, you just got to keep competing. You know, you knew when you get ahead that earlier, they're going to make a run, and you got to play defense. And we lost focus there. We wasn't wanting the ball to come to us on every pitch. We talk about how important it is to be wanting the ball to exit to you, and we made a couple of bobbles that we could have made, and then they did a great job putting the ball in play and hitting in the gap. So they're going to do that. They're a great ball club. Now we got to respond. We want to win the game. We got to respond like a great ball club and go back to attacking on in the box and make something happen for our ball club.
Now, Coach, when you say attacking in the batter's box, do you want them to do anything different, any more adjustments that they need to make off of Berzon?
No, I think I like what we're doing. We're trying to be patient, let the ball come up, and then we can get the ball in the air just a little bit more than we are, try to minimize the ground balls. But we've hit some pretty hard balls. They just made a couple plays on them.
Coach, thank you. Much appreciated for the time all weekend. All right, 7-6. It's basically a brand new ball game through 3 innings here at Tiger Park. 7 runs, 5 hits, an error for the Tigers and for the Raging Cajuns. I mean, Coach Glasgow just hit on it. 6 runs, 3 hits, and 3 errors, and they all came in that 6-run third inning.
Yeah, you know, I said it earlier in this game when you saw the miscues from LSU that led to all of those runs coming from Louisiana. You have to take care of the ball. You cannot give a team any extra outs at any point, but especially when you are in postseason, an elimination game.
Maddie Hayden will lead off for Louisiana. It's 9-1-2 coming up. Hayden, Davis, and Kotzelnick are all due to start the top of the 4th inning as Berzon pulls the string. Put yourself in Louisiana's shoes here, Francesca. I mean, what are you doing to refocus mentally?
You just got to put it behind you. Reset, new game. You cannot think what if, or we were just up, or oh no. It's okay, we are down by 1 run. What do we need to do?
Berzon looks like she has a little bit more life as well. 5 straight retired. And also 7 of the last 8. Got her on the 0-2. Berzon went off speed, batted back. And Maddie Hayden is down on strikes. First K of the game for Berzon.
I'll tell you what you don't want to do if you're Louisiana. You cannot give LSU any more momentum right now. Starting this inning off with a K, not giving the confidence to the rest of your lineup. Have to make those adjustments and continue to chip away. Just like Coach Glasgow said, force her to bring that drop ball up and to get on top of it.
Lineup turns back over to the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year, and she was also a top 25 finalist for National Freshman of the Year. Maya Davis 1 for 2 with a run scored. It's kind of like a role reversal here from what we saw in the first game of the day. And LSU puts that 4 spot on the board in the top of the second, and then it's the Tigers who kind of incrementally score the rest of the way. Well, LSU with 1 in the second and now 6 in the third.
I think it's just crazy to me to see 6 spots on both sides.
Yes.
Not something that you were expecting to see with just how lights out both of these, not just their ace pitchers, but their pitching staffs are. And to me, that's postseason, right? That's the pressure. That's, you make a defensive miscue, then the next thing you know, a hit happens. You give just a little bit of an opening for that offense, and they're going to take it. And that's what those 6 spots say to me.
And that's just outside. The Women's College World Series returns to...
This is going to be key right here, Alex. Manufacturing some runs, putting some hit and run situations on, trying to put more pressure. We're getting to that time of that ball game where, yeah, you want your hitters to trust their stuff and free swing, but maybe put some runners in motion. I like the idea of a hit and run.
And Maya Davis over at first base with a steal has the chance to do something pretty special. It's kind of one of those tangential storylines. She needs 1 more stolen base to take the overall lead in Division I. Would be number 51 on the season.
I mean, just imagine if you did have that hit and run on, gets it to the grass, someone like Davis is going to score easily from first base. Tie this ball game right up.
There she goes. The throw is not there. Maya Davis now has the overall lead in stolen bases in Division I softball. Number 51 on the season.
Just makes it look so easy out there. And when you have that speed, it's guaranteed that when you get on first base, you are in scoring position. You know, to pair that going into this weekend, LSU catchers not as strong as throwing runners out. They're about 20% compared to Raging Cajuns catchers, 40%.
Which is really well above league average.
Yeah.
Allie Newland getting the nod behind the dish. 2-2 is popped up. This is for Coffey with the call and the catch. 2 away. It's looking like Sophie Piscos is going to come back for this at bat. She was pinch hit for in the second by Kramer Ishte, which shows you what type of confidence Jerry Glasgow has in his bench as well, taking Piscos out, who is absolutely destroyed pitching for the other 3 teams this weekend. But Piscos is going to come back in as Beth Torina meets in the circle with her team.
I mean, I think you have to have someone like Piscos in. She has been one of the hottest hitters all weekend. Does such a great job of the philosophy, offensive philosophy of Jerry Glasgow.
Coach Beth Torina. Well then, that was quite a response in the bottom of the 3rd inning. How did you keep your team locked in after going down 6-0 after the first?
I mean, this is just what the regional is. Like, it just is. Like, when you get to this game, you just throw everything you got out there. And, I mean, give them the best you got left. So I think that's what this is. It's a battle, and both these teams are so talented. I mean, both of these teams have had incredible seasons, so it's going to be a battle to the end.
Coach, how important is it to have Georgia Clark swing in so well right now?
I really think she just led us through that entire thing. Like, she may not be on defense or, out there all the time, but it's her voice and her leadership that brings so much to our team. Just so proud of her and just continuing to help us fight. She's our fearless leader.
Beth, how did Sydney Berzon, after going through that rough first inning, settle into this game as just a freshman? Anything you were working on her with?
I think I'm choking on the tahini.
You just did a shot?
No, not right now, but it's still, it stays with you.
It does. It tickled
you.
me earlier.
I really think, I looked on the border after that inning, 6 runs and 2 hits. She just had trouble finding the zone, figuring out the zone early, and I think she's really settled into that. And once she did, she's going to be really tough.
Beth, thank you so much for the time.
Get some water, Coach.
Yes, please. It's good advice for everyone here because we've still got a long way to go. Bottom of the 4th. LSU on top of the Ragin' Cajuns by just a run as Sydney Berzon looks on and hopes that potentially her team can back her up just a little bit more. The defensive change as Campbell re-enters in right field for Louisiana. They were fixing that left field spot. If you're just joining us in the first game, Savannah Stewart was in and they ended up tearing up that sod because she went back, robbed Carly Heath's home run in game 1 of the day, and there's that spot where Maddie Hayden, the left fielder, is. She was carrying a chunk of sod over after, and you can see how they're trying to fill it in like as best as they can, but they can't plant grass there at the moment. They're just trying to make the field playable.
You can see right here. That's a chunk. Running it over. She was so focused on that too. She robbed the home run, threw the ball in, and immediately ran to get that chunk out of there.
And Savannah Stewart would not offer. It's 9-1-2 coming up here for the Tigers. Stewart, Coffey, Briggs, and then if anybody reaches Taylor Pleasance, who ignited that rally. We talked about Georgia Clark with the 2-run single, but wouldn't have even been possible had Pleasance not lined one up the middle to score a run. This one's up the middle once again, into the bread basket of Vasquez and delivered to first in time to Allred.
Now batting for the Tigers, third baseman number 13, Danica Coffey.
Not only does the winner of this game move on to the Super Regionals, and they're one of the 16 teams left standing, but also this matchup is worth the price of admission to Tiger Park. 2 bitter rivals, in-state rivals. They're separated by just 60 miles down I-10, Lafayette to the west, Baton Rouge to the east. They've already played twice in the regular season, twice here in Baton Rouge, and this truly is a rubber match with the series tied up 2 games apiece.
It's funny because we were saying yesterday was the rubber match, and now we get to say it again.
Yes, we do. And there is so much red, black, and white in the stands too, making the trip over. But as you would imagine, a lot of purple and gold. It's like half LSU, half Lafayette. That one misses just a little bit out inside 2-1. Because you got the right field stands. And then all the way around home plate, basically to the third base, the visitors' dugout, where Louisiana is. That's purple and gold. And then around the berm is the red of Louisiana. It's going to be a tough play for Langoliers, but she does make it just in time to get the speedy Coffey.
And plate for the Tigers, center fielder number 88.
And so history would certainly not be in the favor of LSU. You see, when they trail by 6+ runs, they've never won in 7 attempts. Sometimes the numbers are not all that matters, but this game still has a long way to go. At the moment, it is Tigers 7, Ragin' Cajuns 6.
They are trying to defy the data.
I know you're a data person. You're
I
driven
am.
by the analytics and the numbers.
I mean, more times than not, that's what you trust, right? Even
Yes.
historically, the data told us that we were going to be playing this 7th, if necessary, game. But sometimes that natural element comes into effect.
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong about that. Because now this is the 4th straight time in a regional final that we have had a Game 7. The team that needs to win to force it has done just that. Went forward on 1-1 and just in and out of the glove of Valdez for strike 2. Briggs is nothing for 2. A bounce out to short, and then she went the way of Langoliers again. Though the shortstop booted it for Louisiana, and Sierra Briggs came around to score, part of that 6-run 3rd inning for the Tigers. And all of those runs came with 2 outs, by the way. Two is lifted over to short and just out of the leaping try of Langoliers. Briggs advances to second and dives in safely.
And this is what speed does for you. Briggs just plopping that over the shortstop Langoliers' head, and the moment Briggs sees that is down, she is motoring over to second base, just out of the reach of Langoliers. Does her very best to get to it. Briggs is in. She's excited.
That is a hustle double if I've ever seen one. And now it's up to Taylor Pleasance looking for an insurance run. Kendra Lamb's first full inning of work, trying to hold LSU off the board and get her bats up, down by just 1 run.
See, Kendra Lamb was actually shaken off. Pitching coach Justin Robichaud did not want to throw that pitch. They've been staying away from her. Last time they went inside, she hit that double.
And they do keep going away, and they're just not getting that call on the outside part of the plate from Bobby Guest. He has not been giving it all game long.
That one looked like it was not that close to being a strike. Trying to get like a chase there.
3 balls and no strikes here on Pleasance with first base open. And this is what having Georgia Clark firing on all cylinders does. You really can't pitch around Pleasance in this situation. We'll do a payoff.
And you might have done it 2 at-bats ago when she was 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But that's not the case right now. You have to go after Pleasance right here. You have to force her to get herself out.
Briggs on second with 2 outs here in the 4th. And the payoff is in the hole right side. Briggs coming around third. She'll score easily. Pleasance into second as the throw gets away. An insurance run for LSU here in the fourth. And it is 8 unanswered for the Tigers.
This is the same location from the previous double that Pleasance has. Gets her barrel right on top of that outside pitch. Who cares if you turn on that outside pitch as long as it gets into the outfield, and is able to play another LSU run. And this insurance run all comes from that hustle double from Sierra Briggs.
And allowing Pleasance to get to second is the 4th error of the game. They give one to Campbell out in right field. Georgia Clark, who all of a sudden has found her swing. Comes up with another runner in scoring position. And they're going to put her on.
Yeah, they're intentionally walking her.
I mean, this is Georgia's last year. She doesn't want softball to end forever. And she is willing to do whatever needs to be done. That was
a little close.
That was so close, Georgia might have even thought about it.
I think she did. And you heard Coach Beth Torina describe her, the heartbeat of this team. And I think you just saw why, not just from her home runs and her doubles, but how she is playing into this Tiger crowd.
It's our first intentional walk we have seen this weekend for any of the 4 teams at the Baton Rouge Regional. And she is on here with 2 outs. They're going to deal with Allie Newland. And knowing the type of personality that Allie Newland has, she is welcoming this opportunity.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum right now for LSU, but Louisiana, they are just 1 out away from trying to silence that. You have runners at first and second. You get yourself a ground ball. You can step on any bag to quickly get to the dugout. This doesn't look right now that Lamb and Justin Robichaud, the pitching coach for Raging Cajuns, are on the same page.
And that finds the outside corner. And this is the reason that Louisiana was so disappointed that even though they had a chance to host, they weren't selected as one of the top 16 teams. Because you get this. You have to play through this if you're on the road in Baton Rouge. And this is as big an advantage as there is in the entire country. I mean, here at Tiger Park, 3rd highest attendance behind Alabama and Arkansas. $2,166 in attendance today. Newland might have bunted ball 3. And by the way, talk about Game 7s, what we're doing right now here in Baton Rouge. In Seattle, they are playing the same one. Same thing, Washington and McNeese.
Of course they are.
As McNeese forced it.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
2-2, a cut and a miss. And that will silence the faithful in purple and gold. But LSU does add one more on the Taylor Pleasance RB. First, look at that response.
Yeah, has not given up any other runs.
First pitch swinging, Allred lifts it into shallow left center, and that's Briggs for the first down.
And I just love that she's a freshman. She was able to quickly make an adjustment. She saw that Louisiana was able to lay off of that drop ball. That's a chase drop ball. She makes the adjustment to bring it up just enough to come in as a strike. Also using that rise ball a little bit more with her curve ball. It's a freshman out there making some veteran moves.
Berzon has retired 11 of the last 13 she's faced. Carly Heath looking for her first hit in Game 7 in Baton Rouge. Bounce out to second base, that on a fielder's choice, or rather a RBI ground out, and then a line out to first. LSU has scored in the last 3 innings, a run in the second, 6 in the third, and 1 in the fourth.
I think this is the pitch right here from Berzon that she's had more command over. This is her drop ball, but she raises it up another level. Normally she likes to take that a little bit lower, below the kneecaps to get the swing and miss, but she's able to get that first strike.
2-1 hammered to deep center field. Briggs gives it a look, and it's way gone. It's Carly Heath's second of the weekend, 16th on the year, and Louisiana creeps one closer.
Carly Heath, so much power, and she gets a pitch that is supposed to be inside, but instead it leaks over the middle of the plate, right in the power alley for someone like Carly Heath. Leads this team in home runs, so when she has a pitch that is right down the middle, she's not going to let it go.
And so Carly Heath has put a jolt into the Louisiana faithful behind the third base dugout and out on the left field berm. They get that insurance run that LSU took in the fourth, right back in the top of the fifth.
I mean, just to go back to that pitch, if you are going to challenge a hitter like Heath inside, you cannot miss over the white part. It has to be right in that river or just stay outside.
Langoliers has that home run power too at the plate right now. She has a couple of them this weekend. It was Louisiana's 7th home run of the Baton Rouge Regional, their 84th this season. And that's over the head of Petty and into right. The tying run is on here in the 5th for Louisiana. Don't miss a minute of the action. 0-1 on Campbell, that grand slam, as well as a bounce out to second. Langoliers is the tying run on first base. 1 away in the 5th. This has certainly been one of the more memorable Game 7s in recent memory.
I would think so.
An all-out slugfest. And again, we are not anywhere close to done yet.
And just each team is like matching blow to blow right now.
This is the type of game that you would like to play in.
I mean, if I'm on the winning side, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
We know how you feel about your pitcher's duels.
Yeah.
2-2 is right back off of Berzon. She knocks it down and throws Campbell out at first. Langoliers does advance into scoring position, though, as that tying run.
That's a hot shot hit right back at the pitcher, Berzon. Take a look. Jordan Campbell right at Berzon, able to keep it in front of her, almost just block it. I like how she was collecting it very effortlessly here, knowing the speed that Campbell has. Instead of trying to rush it over, maybe that would have made a bad throw, but instead, very cool and calm and collected, gets the out.
Throws one pitch and tells the athletic trainer and her head coach, Beth Turina, you can get back to the dugout, I'm good.
That's enough.
Well, it avoided her hand, and that, I think, was what they were worried about. Lainey Crater is going to pinch hit for Victoria Valdez here. Jerry Glasgow going back to his bench. Looking to pick up a big hit here with 2 outs. He calls Crater an SEC caliber bat, and we have seen that so far this weekend.
I mean, this is where you want to capitalize for Louisiana. You're able to get 1 run back. You're just down by 1. Runner in scoring position. This is one of those big moments, game-changing moments here.
1 more out, and LSU is done with the top of the 5th. They can come up to the plate. Now the home plate umpire, Robbie Guest, is going to converse with the second base umpire, Mike Thibodeau. And they're going to get Beth Turina out of the dugout. No, it's not Beth Turina, actually.
Does he have something in his eye?
Lindsay, yeah. I think that's what it is, yep.
You know, I'm going to say there's a lot of little gnats out there because they keep flying in the press box. And I'm just going to say this. One got in my mouth when I was talking.
That's not what you want.
No, I know. You know, but I haven't eaten anything since this morning, so protein, I guess.
It is one form of it, yeah.
I'll take whatever I need right now.
So that has been flushed out by some saline, and 2 balls and a strike. The count on Crater. Why not? This game's had a little bit of everything. Fans are up here at Tiger Park. 2-2 on Crater. 2 outs, runner on second. Count on and missed. And she'll face Rudity, Petty, and Gutierrez here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, with LSU looking to lead by more than 1 heading into the top of the 6th. Rudity last time up with a 2-run double. Rudity rips it to right, and it's on a short hop into the glove of Campbell. And so the leadoff is on here in the 5th for the Tigers.
You can see Rudity here sitting on this 2-0 curveball. Doesn't get all of it, but you can see how deep Campbell is playing back. And that just bounces before it hits the glove of the diving Campbell. I mean, the good thing is that she was able to trap it, because one of the scariest things as an outfielder, they tell you you don't want to dive towards a line unless you're 100% sure you're going to catch it.
if that gets by Campbell with Rudity's speed, I mean, she's at least on third.
Yeah. It's like one of the thoughts that goes through your mind as a corner outfielder. If you're going to leave your feet, say, can I get this? Will I keep it in front?
0-1 is bunted. Valdez picks it up and throws to first. It's not in time. They tested the new third baseman, and Petty beat it out.
I mean, this bunt could not have been placed any more perfectly. It is soft, it is in no man's land, and you know that you have a brand new third baseman who gets thrusted into the position, and you're trying to create that type of pressure, catch them on their heels.
Gutierrez looking for her first hit today. Instead, she's going to bunt. Popped up, and Piscos, who just came in behind the plate as well, dives to make the catch. What can't Sophie Piscos do?
I mean, I absolutely love this. The catcher sees this is in air, and she doesn't even get up from the full squat. See the reaction right there from Gutierrez. Thinking that was going to get down, but the fact that Piscos stayed in her squat instead of coming all the way up and then trying to go all the way back down.
Savannah Stewart bounces it over to third. Langeliers charges and throws, and just in time. Not even sure she got a full grip on that one. Some defensive changes here, as we mentioned, for the Ragin' Cajuns. And there is Valdez over at third. She's the new woman at the hot corner. Stormy Kotzelnick comes into play second, and Sophie Piscos, as we mentioned, behind the plate. The top of the order for Danica Coffey. Another insurance run on third and another on second. Rudity just 60 feet away from making this a two-run game, and with the speed of Coffey, if she's able to bury one into the ground, that's probably what happens. 2-0 is right back to Riozzetto. That's not going to get it done, though, as she floats the throw over to first, and Allred snares it for the final out. So LSU threatens but doesn't score, and through 5, holding on to Knowles after missing last season. Right now, clinging to an 8-7 lead as we go to the top of the 6th. Ragin' Cajuns sending up the 9-1 and 2 hitters. Hayden, Davis, and Kotzelnick are all due in a game that began as a blowout and has turned into a nail-biter. Alex Perlman, Francesca Nea, 3-time All-American at Florida with you, as one of these teams will advance to the Super Regionals and become the final 16. One of them will do it, and one of them, the season ends. So just a little bit on the line here in Baton Rouge right now.
Just that slight pressure. No one wants to be that team that comes out the loser here. This is what these players have fought for, these teams have fought for. Both of these squads thinking that they have a chance to get to not just Supers, but to Oklahoma City. And they have the talent to do so, but they got to face off each other in the regionals.
1-2 off the end of the bat. Squibber to second, and Petty gets it to Gutierrez for out number 1. And if you're LSU, all you want to do is keep crossing the outs off the list. Now 5 of them left for Louisiana.
Yeah, you're looking for the low drama innings right there. You got a freshman in the circle with Sydney Berzon, who has been pitching pretty incredible after that first inning. For her to be able to bounce back, she did give up that one run last inning, the solo home run to Heath.
Jammed. Berzon to first to get Davis.
This freshman is doing a lot out there, and she is also defending her position. Maya Davis has so much speed, but check out the way that Berzon is able to move her feet. She backs up on it, and as she is fielding this ball, she still continues to shuffle her feet to set it for a strong throw to first base to get that crucial out.
Quick 2 outs for Berzon. Here's Stormy Kotzelnick. The Washington transfer takes strike 1. The number 2 hitter looking for her first hit. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first and scored part of that 6-run inning for Louisiana. And that is in the hole on the right side, and it scoots through. Tying run is on base for the Ragin' Cajuns.
See Kotzelnick here just banging this right into that 3-4 hole. You see that Petty was shifted a little bit more up the middle. Not really thinking she's going to be able to get to that play, but Louisiana still being able to collect their hits, even with 2 outs.
Here is Sophie Piscos. Piscos is 8 for 14. Has driven in 5 this weekend. And one big swing here. And all the momentum is back to the Ragin' Cajuns as so is the lead.
I mean, there's a lot of big bats in this lineup, but the way Piscos has been swinging it, she is the biggest threat. Got to feel that she is pressing right there with swinging on that drop ball. That's why you saw Coach Glasgow looking right at her, telling her zone it up. Try to calm herself down. Do not try to force it. Trust your swing.
The 1-2. High chopper to Coffey, who handles and throws. And that does it in the top of the 6th for Louisiana.
And this is probably one of the most biggest moments right here for Louisiana. Hurry up, get 3 outs. Do not let any Tigers get on base to try to extend this lead to get another insurance run. You want to try to go 1, 2, 3, get your offense back up, only down by 1 run going into the top of the 7th.
And huge for Sydney Berzon getting Sophie Piscos to ground out to third to end the 6th, because she will not come up in the 7th, although they'll still have to deal with the middle of the Louisiana lineup. But also, on the flip side, Chloe Riazetto now has 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Breaks Pleasance and Clark that has done so much damage here in this game.
And you know that's in the back of LSU's mind right now. I don't feel like they are comfortable with just a 1-run lead. They want to get that second one in.
0-2, over to third, booted by Valdez, and she has no play. That should be the 5th error on Louisiana. And as much as LSU has come back and they've gotten the timely hits when they needed to, Ragin' Cajuns have basically beaten themselves in a lot of ways.
I mean, they're doing exactly what coaches say you cannot do. You cannot give a good hitting team extra outs. Valdez isn't able to come up with this backhand smoothly, and the speed that Briggs has starts this inning off with a runner on.
And here is Taylor Pleasance.
I mean, pretty much every single time Louisiana has made an error, LSU's made them pay.
They had 3 of them in that 6-run inning.
And if we went all the way back to the first inning where Louisiana scored those 6 runs, that was started by an error. Goes to show how important clean defense is.
So a season high 5 defensive miscues for Louisiana. And LSU has scored 8 runs. Only 2 of them are earned.
It's crazy too, is Louisiana came into this weekend with such a high fielding percentage. They're like 978, 986, somewhere around that mark. It's been like 7 games this weekend.
968, you were very close.
Yeah, in the ballpark.
But, I mean, that's really good. LSU is 975, and 975 is outstanding.
Yeah. Just really goes to show you the difference the pressure makes.
Big swing and a miss. Trying to make it a 3-run advantage with 1 swing. Like the wry smile there from Taylor. No, she just missed it. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gold and purple looking to add an insurance run here in the 6th.
You see where the left side is playing. Pleasance, Valdez way behind third base line, and then you see Langlier. She is almost in the middle of the field. There is a huge opening there in the 5-6 hole.
Payoff jammed her, and this is Langlier's. 1 away in the 6th. Georgia Clark was intentionally walked her last time up. Other than that, she has a solo home run and a 2-run single. Has been the catalyst. She started her weekend 0-for-9 and has come alive. I mean, can it happen that quickly, Francesca?
All you need is 1 swing, or sometimes it's not even just the 1 swing. Maybe it's just a walk, a hit by pitch, just something that makes you feel like you're contributing, that allows you to get into a groove. And I think it was that foul ball from the game earlier, or the controversial call of fair or foul home run. That was that 1 swing that she needed just to give herself a little bit more confidence.
It would have tied up the game down to their final strike, would have made it 7-7. But called the foul ball just over the foul pole in left field. Clark takes it back, and Briggs advances to second. Was she hit by the pitch, though? Or was it a foul ball? Howard Dobson, the hitting coach and assistant for LSU, is pleading his case with Robbie Guest. So is Beth Torina as she comes back from the third base coaching box. Georgia Clark thought for sure that didn't get any piece.
Yeah, so you see Clark shows it, pulls it back, and does it. It does not hit her bat.
That didn't get any piece of her.
No. If anything, it just hits the shin guard or the arm guard of the catcher Piscos. And I'm going to guess that is what the home plate umpire Guest heard and probably thought it was the barrel.
So instead it's a ball and 2 strikes here on Georgia Clark. Clark has played pretty fired up in this game. She is intent on her career not coming to a close on her home field to their biggest in-state rival.
Respectfully spicy, we'll say?
Absolutely. Spicy, for sure. The 1-2 is driven. That's going to pull well foul. Just waiting for softball to be picked up out by the third base visitors dugout. And Georgia Clark, who has already received an MBA from LSU, steps back in with a 1-2 count. Maybe she'll bring some of that personality to the business world as well. Brett Torina says that she's going to run the world someday. So get on her good side.
What an eye right there. Yeah, Georgia Clark, she's a field type of a hitter, but she also loves to rely on the analytics. She studies up and down pitchers' tendencies, where they like to throw and certain pitch counts, so she felt confident in that take.
Popped her up on 3-2, though. This is in play for Allred, and she's got it for the second out.
What a big pitch right there.
I think home plate umpire Robbie Guest just threw Georgia Clark out of the game.
Throw her out or give her a warning?
No, I saw her get ejected. And Howard Dobson is going to talk over things with Robbie Guest and get an explanation. Let's see what Georgia Clark says here to Robbie Guest. Watch on the left side of your screen. Yeah, he tossed her.
Wow.
She's gone.
I think she turned back to the umpire and said, "That's on you." Feeling slighted for that extra strike given on her for one earlier in the at-bat when she showed the bunt, then pulled it back. Wow. You see Clark here fouls out, and then she turns back to the umpire. Just kind of says that she feels that was on her, and he's going to toss her.
Not even a warning there.
I don't like the toss. I understand you're fired up. This is a pressure moment. Your last, potentially, could be your last game here if you end up losing. You want to be able to keep your composure, but you cannot take a player out of the game that quickly.
I'm going to offer another explanation that maybe went into that, was the words that she had for Mike Thibodeau when she was rounding the bases. And did that factor in, and maybe Robbie Guest is backing up his guy.
But did he give her a warning when he said that?
I didn't see anything.
I don't think we saw that.
Maybe it's sort of an accumulation there. But you're right. I never saw any sort of formal warning.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm going too far on a limb here, but you don't really see that happen a lot with men. They're allowed to have their conversations and their opinions about it.
2-0, just fouled down the left field line. Again, though, the caveat, we don't know exactly what Georgia Clark said to Robbie Guest to warrant her being thrown out of the game. But should this game continue, LSU doesn't have Georgia Clark anymore. Two balls and a strike on Allie Newland. Did we just cross the threshold of spicy?
Yeah, I think it's been crossed.
Yeah.
It's so tough in a pressure situation like that. It's hard to contain those emotions, but you do need to try your very best to keep your composure.
The count full on Newland now. Louisiana has the middle of the lineup coming up in the seventh. Yeah, Georgia Clark's still in the dugout, though. And so Newland is going to head down to first.
You see this ball coming in from Riazetto. He's going to say that it hits her while she is in the batter's box, causing it to be ball 4.
So still ball 4. It's a walk. And
Louisiana arguing, though, that she made the attempt and it hit the bat.
And so we are going to have a challenge here from Jerry Glasgow and Louisiana. Certainly an eventful bottom of the 6th inning. You can't argue that much. And so we will see if, Allie Newland, remember, doesn't have to necessarily make an attempt to get out of the way of it, but you can't lean into it when it's over the plate.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough call right there. I don't know if I feel like this ball was going to hit her in the batter's box. It looks like she kind of comes forward with it and almost looks like it might hit her knob.
It's hard to tell, but it very well may have.
Either hit the knob or her back arm guard underneath that forearm. It's really tough to tell.
Well, the call on the field is ball 4. It's a foul ball. You can read the lips there of home plate umpire Robbie Guest. And so Allie Newland is going to have to go back and get her bat.
Now,
another 3-2 count coming.
I do think this is the right call. Like, this does add a little bit fuel to the fire if you are an LSU fan, but I think this is the right call here. I didn't see that ball in the batter's box hitting her. I saw her hands come forward.
And it's not the umpires down there on the field making the call. It's centralized review outside of Pittsburgh by the NCAA, so they're not the ones making that judgment call. Payoff to Newland. We'll do it again. What a day of softball.
Whew. So you see Briggs in motion on that swing. Let's check back in here.
First game of the day started almost 6 hours ago. Newland rips it. Center field for Davis as she comes in a few steps and makes the play. So Louisiana holds LSU off the board in the bottom of the 6th. And the season on the line when we come back for the Ragin' Cajun. An accomplished program with 6 Women's College World Series appearances. And can Sophie Berzon change it up? Or Sydney Berzon, that is, as that one is flown into left field on the first pitch. And Lauren Allred already is on as the tying run.
I don't think anyone expects Louisiana to go down quietly here. Of course, it's going to come off the bat of the freshman Allred here. Just getting this single so important. Because now you bring up the home run hitter in Carly Heath. Already had a 1 shot in her last at-bat to come within 1. And now she has a runner on base.
Louisiana trying to overcome 5 errors to capture the Baton Rouge Regional. Winner to the Supers. Whoever falls in this game means the end of the season. The 0-1 is into right field. That's down for a base hit. Allred pulls up into second. And now the tying and go-ahead runs are on with nobody out in the 7th.
I mean, this is how this game has been going the entire time. One team strikes, and then the other team strikes right back. Heath, of course, being able to continue this inning right here for the Ragin' Cajuns. She is not ready to give up so easily.
Alexa Langoliers fouls it off. These two teams have been so evenly matched the entire season. Only 2 spots separated them in the RPI. Louisiana had a pretty solid resume and a chance to host. The committee decided instead they were a 2 seed and they would go to their biggest rivals here in Baton Rouge. Bunt attempt on 0-2. Coffey picks it up and fires, and they get the out. Excellent sacrifice right there as Allred and Heath move up, and the tying and go-ahead runs are in scoring position with 1 out.
Plays like that are so important in a situation like this. You are asked to execute the fundamentals of a sac bunt to move the tying run just 60 feet away. For Jordan Campbell, in her first at-bat of this game, hit a grand slam, so she knows that she can lift this ball. Not necessarily does she need to lift it out of this ballpark, but just deep enough to tie this ball game. A little sac fly.
She has 7 runs driven in today. That grand slam and a 3-run homer. And they are going to put her on. That's a strike! And it gets away. We are tied. Insanity. An intentional walk goes over the plate. Newland's not expecting it. And Lauren Allred crosses the plate to tie this game at 8 apiece.
You see the intentional walk right here from Newland, and it crosses the plate, goes right down the middle.
And Carly Heath is 60 feet away from giving Louisiana the lead.
You can see they're continuing still to go with the pitch out, and Berzon is struggling to get it where it needs to be, crossing up the catcher Newland for a second time.
And this time, the pitch delivered outside the zone. Can't say I've ever seen that before.
No.
Oh my goodness.
You know, earlier in this game when it was 6-0, you had asked, how does LSU stay in it? And it was like, you cannot feel deflated. It is hard right now if you are a Tiger fan. So close to closing this game out.
Jordan Campbell rips it into right center field, and Louisiana has the lead.
Berzon was struggling to hit her spot for this pitch out. This is right on the outside corner. Basically a fastball that is easy for someone like Jordan Campbell to get to, and now the Ragin' Cajuns take the lead. Wow.
Francesca, how many thousands upon thousands of softball games have you watched in your life?
I couldn't even tell you.
And seen 3 strikes delivered in an at-bat that was supposed to be an intentional walk?
I've never seen it.
This game truly has everything.
I mean, it is truly postseason, and not just because the dramatics right now, but we've seen both sides feel the pressure and make the mistakes.
And now there's only 3 outs left in LSU season.
And you just can't practice this, right? You can't practice this type of a situation when you are 3 outs away as a freshman from getting to your first ever super regional. You start off with 2 runners in scoring position. How do you match that pressure in practice? You can't. That's why so many times in the postseason you give that advantage to the players, to the teams that have made it the farthest, who have been able to come through in pressure situations like that.
It's certainly baptism by fire for the freshman Sydney Berzon, whose NCAA tournament debut was absolutely immaculate earlier this weekend. Runner goes, it's down in the dirt as Newland stops it anyway, but Jordan Campbell is into second. Louisiana trying to do something that they never have in program history, and that is win back-to-back games on Championship Sunday.
I thought you were going to say try to hit a double on a pitch out. Oh, wait, they did that just now.
I don't think that's something they practice either. To another 2-2. So looking ahead now for the Tigers, they have the bottom of the lineup due. It's Petty, Gutierrez, and Stewart. They have 2 hits out of those 3. Both of them are from Carly Petty. We knew when the Raging Cajuns put up 6 on the top of the first, this game wasn't over by a long shot. Nobody could have predicted this. Pleasant's a check of the runner, and she gets Valdez for out number 2.
I mean, just the way the scoring has been going, you didn't think that it was going to one run would be enough. You hoped if you were an LSU fan.
The vibes are so different here at Tiger Park from when we started this top of the 7th inning. They knew 3 outs and they were moving on to the Super Regionals. And now they're on the back foot. There have been a lot of classics in this LSU-Louisiana series.
Yeah.
This one might take the cake.
I agree with you. I don't know how it doesn't.
No balls and 2 strikes on Maddie Hayden. The enormous insurance run in scoring position is Jordan Campbell. Nobody has left this ballpark. They have been here since way before one local time, getting their Tigers ready. And the 0-2 is flown out to shallow center field and tracked down in right by Rudity. A wild and wacky 7th inning has Louisiana. Some miscues. It's had some things that you'll probably never see again, like a go-ahead single on an intentional walk. Yeah, you heard that right. Trying to pitch out, Jordan Campbell singled to right field. It's all down to Carly Petty, Raylene Gutierrez, and Savannah Stewart. 7-8-9 for the Tigers. We'll check that. Mackenzie Rudity to lead off. So Rudity, Petty, and Gutierrez all due.
I think the key right here for Louisiana is to attack Rudity. You do not want to give up that lead off base runner, similar to what Berzon did in that last inning. Just open the door for that momentum.
Now, how often is the leadoff hitter, when you're trailing by a run, how often is that the linchpin of the inning?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, the best example is that last inning. If Berzon is able to get Allred out, that changes the complexion, it changes the energy. That's why Chloe Riazetto is going to try to attack.
How do you calm the nerves in this situation?
Oh man, it's going to sound so cliche, but you almost just have to not focus on what is around you. You need to zone in on your catcher, stay locked in on Peace Coast behind you, so that you are not focused on the noise, the crowd, what's at stake. It's just throwing another pitch.
What about on the other side? What about offensively? Because you've been in plenty of these situations before in your career.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very similar. You need to do your very best just to stay in that moment. Don't try to be too big, and you really can't force it. You cannot press it, because if you do, you're going to get yourself out. You hope that all the practice that you do leads to success in this moment.
2-2 lifted up the middle. Davis has it for out number 1. And that all-important leadoff hitter retired by Chloe Riazetto.
Second baseman number 14, Carly Kennedy.
So Riazetto, the freshman, is trying to send Louisiana to their first super regional since 2016. You could not script that one either, with arms like Sam Landry, Megan Shorman, Kendra Lamb, even Carly Heath.
Yeah.
It's Riazetto that has the opportunity.
Yeah, that lefty-lefty matchup right now between Petty and then right behind her, Gutierrez.
0-1 on Petty. Gutierrez in the on-deck circle. If anyone can reach Savannah Stewart, the number 9 hitter, is due. Three balls and a strike. Petty is 2 for 3 already today. She had a 2-run home run to start her day in game 1. High pop, left side foul ground. Langoliers hauls it in, and Louisiana's 1 out away.
It is the big plays in the big moments that separate you from continuing your season on. Langoliers' all-out effort, knowing how important that second out is.
Last chance, Raylene Gutierrez, and she keeps the game alive with a single to center. The tying run is on for Savannah Stewart. You just knew that the Tigers were not at all going down without a fight.
We're not going to go 1, 2, 3, Alex. Come on.
No chance.
Have you been watching this game?
LSU sends a pinch runner out to replace Gutierrez, and that is Maya Townsend. She is a perfect 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts this season. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. 2 outs, tying run on base for LSU, trailing by a run. A ball and a strike on Stewart, looking for her first hit of this pivotal Game 7 between LSU and Louisiana.
It's a good take right there. Riazetto with that rise ball, that low rise. She's trying to get that easy pop out. Stewart showing that patience.
The nerves are high here in Tiger Park. If Stewart can keep this game going, Danica Coffey is in the on-deck circle. And 1 pitch away from seeing Coffey. Remember, she was 3rd in the SEC in hits this year. Lifted down the left field line. Hayden on the run, and she's got it! Louisiana is going to the Super Regionals for the first time since 2016 against their biggest rival, LSU.
Congratulations to LSU on a great season. And congratulations to the Raging Cajuns on winning the regional and moving on to the Super Regional action. The NCAA would like to thank LSU for hosting the 2023.
Heartbreak for Beth Torina and the Tigers. They are denied a trip to the Supers for the second straight season after before last year going every year since 2014. But it is the end of the road for LSU, and Louisiana